Hi, everyone, and welcome back to our podcast, the place where we unpack child behavior, brains, and all the beautiful chaos in between. I'm Cherie, and with me again today is Sumé.
Hi, and today we are diving into a big one, the festive season. So, that magical, sparkly, sugar fueled time of year that is absolutely overwhelming for many neurodiverse kids, and I think in turn for the parents.
Absolutely, this is the season of joy, of lights, and of course, of meltdowns in aisle six.
Especially aisle 6, always aisle 6.
Absolutely. So for me, I have sensory challenges, so I completely relate to this. So I think let's start with the first topic, which is sensory overload. Christmas is loud, it's bright, and let's just face it, it's just too much. So the festive season is basically a sensory explosion with the crowds, new environments, flashing lights, and of course, loud joy to the world music.
And for kids with sensory processing difficulties, it's like the world is on max volume and no one gave them the remote. There's absolutely no control.
Exactly. And imagine trying to stay calm while everything around you just screams, be merry, be happy, and all you want is peace and quiet.
And I can relate to that. Definitely, it feels like some part of me is already going into sensory overload, and I just need the cherry on top. And once again, if you go into the shops and you hear that joy to the world, and everyone is rushing around you, and it's too much. So sometimes, in these situations, parents can think that their children are acting out, but actually, it's a sensory flooding. It's an overload, and their brain is just signaling like one of those flashlights, giving out warning signals. Too much, too fast, and too loud.
Yes, definitely. And this is why micro support can help. Small things. Noise canceling headphones. Isn't technology wonderful? We didn't have this growing up. Maybe sunglasses. No one's going to think you're weird walking into the store with sunglasses, taking some sensory breaks, or even just stepping outside for 2 minutes. I took a child with sensory issues with sensory challenges to a mall once, and it got too much, and I went outside with him, and this is not a child that has outward meltdowns, and we were sitting there and the tears just started streaming down his face, and I realized that they take in so much that we don't really realize that too much is too much. So tiny things can actually make such a big difference.
Exactly. And the thing is that, now the smaller things that usually kept them, that enabled them to regulate a little bit more, is also, I almost want to say, out of control now. And now I'm referring to routine. There's During the holiday season, there's a complete loss of routine. Suddenly, bedtime isn't what it used to be anymore. It can be almost any time now. Um, it's meals with everyone, everywhere. Visitors just come and go in and out the house. And kids don't know if it's Tuesday, is it Christmas Day, is it Christmas Eve, or is it the day that they're going to be forced to sit on a stranger's lap with that has a beard.
Yeah, absolutely. And many times when I speak to parents, they say, yes, but my child would like a time without rules. But what they don't realize is that routine is actually a stabilizing force for neurodiverse kids. When it disappears, anxiety spikes because their known controlled environment is falling away. So it's not that they fight the fun, they actually fight the unpredictability I don't know what's going to be next and what is expected of me.
Exactly. And this is when we see behavior changes. So, irritability. If your child has autism, there's more stimming, there's withdrawal of, a lot of kids withdraw, there's emotional outbursts. Um, and I mean, we already started seeing this with the end of year fatigue with children, the emotions that just differ from what it used to be. So now the children are starting to relax, but now there's other things that's going out of order. So
Mhm.
they don't know how to react. Like you just said, what is expected of me? What am I supposed to do in this situation? When all these other things are already going on in my head, with the songs playing, all the people around me, things are not the way it used to be. So I don't know how to react or how to act when we are in this situation.
Again, something small, something simple like a holiday visual schedule can help. It doesn't have to be something fancy that you order from Temu or Takealot, or, it can just be 3 simple blocks: morning, afternoon, evening. This is what's going to happen in this time. That bit of structure makes them feel safe. Yes, I know life is unpredictable, but at least giving them some idea of the big things that will be expected from them will already help the situation.
And of course, it is very important to include free play, or rest on the schedule as well. It counts, it's definitely allowed, because the children also need to see that, okay, I have my schedule, so it's kind of where we used to be when we were in routine with school and everything like that. But it is still holiday. The activities that we might be doing might be different from school, but I still have my own time to just enjoy my free play. That is also really important.
Absolutely. And I think, another thing that is a really big stressor is social pressure. That whole thing of say hello, give this person a hug. These kids, they don't really like it. I don't think a lot of us like it. The festive season comes with expectations. You have to greet every family member. You're not allowed to offend someone. You can't offend Auntie Linda. You have to take photos with them or give hugs or smile on command. It's just too much.
It's really for children with autism, or children with anxiety. I can feel it as an adult. They simply cannot. And I always say, so if you feel that amount of anxiety or stress within your adult body, you've had years of experience with regards to how to handle this situation. Imagine that in half your size, everything bottled up inside there, and they don't have the tools necessary to use. Just the other day, I was talking to a colleague, and they said that, they're actually so happy that in this time we are moving a little bit more past you have to greet everyone, you have to hug everyone, you have to look them in the eyes, because as it is during the holiday season, a child's space is not necessarily just their space. So now having other people come into the house, into their space, and then forcing them into these people's, their space technically as well, it becomes too much. They cannot manage all of it.
Yeah, I think, they're not being rude. The one thing is actually so interesting because during what you just mentioned, during the rest of the year, I don't want my kids hugging everyone. And I don't want my kids smiling to strangers. But now all of a sudden in December, they have to know that they have to do it. And then January comes and I say, you're not allowed to do that anymore. It's very confusing. So we have to understand that our kids see the world differently than we do, and they may be just trying to protect their own nervous system.
Absolutely. And families sometimes misunderstand this. But consent-based greetings are so important. So you don't necessarily have to say you have to go give that person a hug or something like that, but something like wave. They're still in their own space. They still feel safe. They don't feel like there's an intruder in their space. Or give a high five or just smile. Teaching them still that communication of, okay, I'm acknowledging you, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the hugging. Or like we just said, if you don't want to smile, you can maybe just give a slight wave or something like that. Because there's a lot of confusion that the children go through in this time.
Yeah, so exactly. No forced hugs, no forced conversations. Just let them warm up to you in their own time.
And adults can actually learn a few things from here as well. Not to expect those things to take place, because if we're going to be quite honest, they are friends, they are family that you only see them once a year, and that once a year is Christmas time. So they count as complete strangers to the kids. So yeah, just respecting those views, I think, is very important.
Yes. Now, the fourth topic, which is actually very important, is overstimulation from gifts. So many toys, so little processing time. So I see this quite a lot with my kids, and we've now tried to scale it down a little bit by giving it in small portions, but it's very difficult because it's Christmas and they have to wake up to gifts and, the whole Christmas movies type of thing. But there is such a thing as gift overload. So kids unwrap 10 presents in 10 minutes, and then everyone wonders why they are shutting down. So now, by the 10th present, they have now opened Uncle John's present, and now the gratitude is not there, or they're not happy enough. And Uncle John saw this whole thing going differently in his mind. He saw this child up and down, and the child is really not, because it's too much now. Then it goes over in a fight, and this is how the child remembers it. So they just shut down, and people don't really understand that whole situation.
Definitely. And it's just their brain literally cannot process all that novelty. We always see perhaps an emotional meltdown as because of negative things that happened. But even excitement, an overload of excitement, can dysregulate them. So I always, when I do zones of regulation with my clients, I'll tell them, and it's Nicole from our Cape Town branch. She actually one time explained it to me like this, and I thought, it's such a wonderful way to explain it is, when your child is dysregulated because of excitement, it's like a dog having zoomies. So they just go up and down and up and down and up and down the whole time. And then at the end, what happens? It's kind of like a crash. They just crash from all the excitement, all the overstimulation. And that's what happens when a child, like you said earlier, gets 10 gifts in 10 minutes, a minute to process each gift, and it's just too much.
So again, this can be solved by this very simple way of just spacing out the presents, giving one gift at a time with small breaks in between as well.
And then also don't necessarily expect, or don't be offended if the child does not react the way that you expected. So Uncle John, if you get a flat expression, it doesn't mean that they don't love it. It just means that their brain is buffering a little bit. I have a little boy here that I'm seeing in Joburg West, and he's told me he's now at an age where he's able to verbalize his ideas, his thoughts, everything like that brilliantly. So he would tell me, if I get this gift, or if we do this fun thing, and it doesn't look like I'm enjoying it. Don't think that I'm not. It's just that I feel it inside me and I don't necessarily show it on my face. And I think it's very important to know that and to understand that.
Yeah, it's, if you give a child a big fancy car and next to it you give them something that they can build, right? Obviously, a thing that they can build doesn't look very nice at the moment, but they will play with the fancy car for 5 minutes, and obviously that'll get a yay expression. I'm going with a car example because I have boys. I don't know what's apply for girls. So they'll play with the car for 5 minutes, and then they will leave it. But then they will go to the building thing, and they will spend some time on that as well. So everything has its place and time. You just need to give this child this little time to process, like that internal loading circle that you have on your computer or on YouTube. Just give them that time, like you said, to buffer all the information.
Exactly. Just give them a little bit of time to settle.
And I think talking about that, we also need to talk about parent guilt. Speaking directly to parents, the guilt that you feel during the holidays is real. Yes, we feel judged, we feel stressed, I'm not giving my child the perfect Christmas because it doesn't look on the movies or like people do it on social media. We can't go to this very nice place for Christmas. We only have to stay at home. It's very important to also address that situation as well.
Definitely, because perfection is not the goal. Regulation is, connection is, and meeting your child's needs is the ultimate goal. It's such a rush throughout the rest of the year that we don't necessarily just get the time to sit down with our family and just enjoy the time of being there and truly being present. We've said in previous podcasts, if you are in the same room as someone, it's not the same as putting all technology to one side, trying to lock everything off with regards to what's happened through the rest of the year, what you need to start doing next year. That being present in the moment is what really counts and what's the ultimate goal. And that is essentially the thing that your children will remember most when they go back to school, is that precious moments that you guys had as a family.
Absolutely. And, I've heard a lot of times that we can't visit family for long periods of time, or we can't go to the malls with my child's friends, or because of the way that my child reacts and because my child is neurodiverse. And that's also all right. It's a season, it passes, it comes once a year. Your child is not difficult. The environment is difficult for your child. And if that means maybe popping into a family gathering for a few minutes and then leaving, or maybe not going at all and maybe visiting those family members one by one to spend time with them afterwards, that's also all right. Christmas must not be a time of pressure. You do it the way that you should do it, because at the end of the day, you should be there for your child. You're the only person who can really protect them. All the adults that will get upset or, disappointed because you didn't join whatever you were supposed to join, they can deal with that. Your child cannot deal with that.
Absolutely. And always remember that these environmental changes or adaptations that you are making is not spoiling your child. It is supporting their neurology. It's supporting them emotionally. And I can promise you that they would appreciate that a lot more than feeling like being pressured into certain situations because according to other people, this is something that they have to experience, etc. So yeah, supporting your children in this time, whatever the rest might think, is very, very important.
So in summary, this festive season, just keep it simple. Protect your child's sensory system. Offer predictability, allow some social boundaries, it is okay, and maybe space out the stimulation to avoid overstimulation.
And And remember that a regulated child experiences more joy. So a calm Christmas is still Christmas.
So from us at Aldea, may your holidays be full of grace, understanding, and fewer L6 moments. See you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.